Dr. Miles Monroe once said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose. When purpose is not known, abuse is unavoidable. This is the Purpose Global. Let me help you discover, manifest, and maximize your purpose in God.
Hello, Mulibwanji, member VP Kev Muliburunji. We are still moving on with the Jehu series, and today we're going to talk about strategic leadership. Without wasting much of our time, let's dive in. In this particular video, we're going to talk about strategy when it comes to leadership, strategy when it comes to fulfilling your purpose. All right, so now I learned, Mr. Jehu, this commander, was really a leader and he was smart. Okay, in our company we've got two models, or rather two methods that we use in terms of marketing, because I run a marketing and media company. All right, so there's what we call a push strategy, where we push content or we push products and services into the market. All right, and there's what also we call a pull factor strategy, where we pull clients towards the product. Okay, so we set in different methods or different marketing methods that pull in using branding. Okay, so what I see with Jehu, he used the same methods. Okay, so when it came to the assignment of killing Jezebel, that was a push strategy. So he went into the enemy's camp and killed Jezebel. That was a push strategy. So now here is what Jehu did. Okay, he went into the enemy's camp and killed Jezebel. That was the push strategy. Now this time around, what he did was he pretended and said, okay, those who worship this Baal and all, everybody, just come and let's gather in whatever house they used to worship these foreign gods from. Okay, so he called them, okay, with the pull strategy. So he gave it that sort of branding that he was okay with it. All right, you know what I mean? So he pulled them with this pull factor strategy, and when they came there, he killed all of them. They were wiped out. Killed all of them. That was a pull strategy. So you can tell that this man was a strategic man. Okay, so if you're going to fulfill your vision and your purpose, you're going to understand what strategy are you using to fulfill that particular purpose. You're going to be very, very strategic. You have to be very, very smart, because for you to break down those barriers, to break down those systems, you need to be strategic on how you're going to bring those things down. So God was looking for a commander, a man like Jehu, a man that is strategic. Here is the fact: sometimes you're not the one who's going to fulfill that vision. Okay, Elijah came in with a good marketing strategy where he displayed his value system, he displayed who he was, but he still couldn't defeat the enemy. He couldn't bring down the systems of Jezebel. You understand what I mean? He couldn't bring down the system of Jezebel. Okay, but he realized, okay, I'm not the one who's gonna fulfill this particular vision. All right, so he passed it on to the next person, and that was Elisha. You understand? There is one principle that I've learned in terms of leadership. If you don't birth other leaders, no matter how much you're gonna convince me, if you don't birth other leaders, you're a failure. Okay, look at this. Elijah actually birthed a man who had a double portion of Elijah. Okay, if you don't have a desire to birth people that will be greater than you, that will even create more impact than you, then no matter how much you convince me, you're a failure. If you don't have that desire, then you're not a great leader. You're not a leader, actually. You understand? So this was a strategy. If Elijah never passed on this leadership to Elisha, because it is Elisha who was directed by God to support this Jehu. So there is power in passing on leadership. We need to value the passing on of leadership. Let's take, for instance, in countries today. Okay, probably it is not the current regimes in your particular country that will bring in the prosperity that you need as a country. They will take you to a certain point, but they need to pass on that, okay, to the next people. They need to have a passing on strategy as leaders, and they need to have a desire. Okay, this is not about being political. No, this is about achieving goals and the visions of countries, visions of a continent, visions of a family. You understand? There must be a strategy of passing it on. Sometimes you're not the one who's going to fulfill that particular thing in your company. Okay, probably you need the right person for the assignment. So in terms of strategy, you saw Elijah he used different methods. They couldn't work. Sometimes certain methods are not working. You might not be the right person to put in certain things. All right, you need a Jehu. Sometimes you just need to step out. Okay, that is leadership, and bring the right people who can do the right stuff. So strategy when it comes to leadership and growth is very important. When it comes to management, okay, it's very important, because for you to fulfill your purpose, you need to push in strategies. Because you see, at the end of the day, life is like a relay. Okay, whatever I'm doing today, I need to pass it on to the next person. And when I pass it on to the next person, that other person has to pass it on to the other person. And what will happen at the end of the day is going to be a collective success. All right. Life is not about, okay, let them see me. I'm a leader. I'm a great speaker. I'm a great this. I'm a great that. When you are selfish and when you are self-centered and you don't want to pass on leadership to the next people, then you are not a great leader. Not one that is called by God. But otherwise, if you see Jesus, he passed it on to the disciple. You see Elijah, he passed it on to Elisha. Actually, the organization of Jesus Christ is still standing today. Dr. Miles Monroe, the organization of Jesus Christ is still standing on today. We still have the Bible. We still have the Word of God today. Why? Because there were certain leaders that wrote. There were certain leaders that were, groomed. And that's why we still have. I like calling Jesus Christ serving the world organization, because Jesus Christ came to serve the world and he mentored leaders who are in the serving the world organization, and we still have the Christianity called serving the world organization out today, because leaders were mentored and leaders were birthed. Being strategic is key for us to fulfill our visions as a country, as a family, as a continent, or as an international organization, or whatever you're doing. So strategic leadership is key, and you just have to make sure that you put in strategies that are very important so that you can fulfill your vision.